Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. Dr. Jason Dean, Brave TV, your source for health, freedom, and knowledge. It's not getting crazier. It's not getting darker. It's not getting worse. Everyone should realize it really isn't. This has always been happening. It's just now being brought to light that it's actually happening. So without further ado, it's Chris Heaven, survivaldispatch.com. The dark has always been there. It's now that they're being now it's being shown. It's pretty ugly out there, man.
Look at just in the past week alone, we've learned that Mayorkas and Biden have secretly flown 320,000 invaders into the country because they didn't want the public eye to be on it at the border, which leads us to question, Jason, how many people do you think are being flown in here from Palestine that are Hamas terrorists? You know what's happening.
Yes. Here's my only thing on that. Where is it happening? That's my question. Like, I don't deny it's happening because I've heard it from other people too. The question is, where is it? Where is it happening? Where is it occurring? I'm not because and I don't study all this stuff, so I don't see the video. There very well might be out there. Are you seeing stuff from people like seeing it come in?
So the Biden admin has admitted to this, and it was all uncovered through FOIA requests. So they're not only are they not denying that they brought 320,000 invaders in these secret flights, they're saying that they had to bring them in through these secret flights because of actions that other parties say Texas are taking at the border, and they're defending it. So
where did it
happen?
Where does it say? Where are they taking them to? Does it say specific? Are they specific spots, or are they being generalized about it?
Yeah, they're being very general as far as where they're bringing them in for a reason. We can't tell you the airports that we're bringing them in because it would put their lives in danger.
Okay. Now here's another.
Like I say, the admin is not saying this is fake news. They're fully admitting to it and they're justifying it.
Interesting. Now, have you heard President Trump say he can have it handled in 24 hours?
Yeah, well,
my question on that is, I'm sure there's some sort of rule or law he can go by. I don't. Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, he's talking about leveraging Tom Homan, his former director of ICE, and we had him on last week. I spoke with Tom a number of times in the past few weeks, and he jokingly said Trump's first day in office, Tom Homan's going to deport all the Democrats, and then the second day is going to deport all the illegal invaders. But yeah, they already have plans in motion that if we can get past this election, if we can get Trump back in office, they already have very detailed plans on how they're going to deal with these illegal invaders and get them out of our country. They even have contingency plans for countries like Venezuela and El Salvador. I'll mention that as well, where even the Biden admin tried to deport some people last week, and both Venezuela and El Salvador said, no, we don't want them back.
I'm not sure he can tell you, or if he has told you, or if you can say it if he has told you, but I'm assuming they have some sort of legislation in place or some sort of logistics in place where if he is put back in office, they can do this in 24 to 48 hours.
I can't see it happening that fast. I think
that's the thing. I'm like, that doesn't seem pragmatic to me.
No, I think there might be a little bit of context missing there.
Okay.
They will start mass deportations within 24 to 48 hours.
That's going to go over well.
It's clearly going to take longer than 24 to 48 hours. And it really depends on whose numbers you want to believe. And the range is typically somewhere between 20 and 40 million people here that shouldn't be here, that legally shouldn't be in our country. So, the Chicken Littles say it's 40 million. The Democrats say it's 20 million. So the truth lies somewhere in the middle. That's a lot of people to deport. But, this is not new stuff. Eisenhower's done this. Eisenhower right now holds the record for the most mass deportations. He deported 1.2 million Mexicans in the early 50s. And a lot of people aren't aware of that. And that's actually the third instance of our federal government engaging in mass deportations. So wheels are in motion again. If we can get past this election without it being stolen, then we'll be in good shape. But I actually just got some very exciting news on that. So there's
How the hell do we get to an election, Chris?
so listen to this one. There is a group that's very well funded that is very intelligent on how to win this election. And they just got legislation passed in Georgia where when you send a mail-in ballot in the state of Georgia, it has to include a photocopy of your ID. And if your ID isn't with that mail-in ballot, it's not going to be counted. The other part that they just got passed in Georgia, I mean, this literally happened. You're going to hear about this on the news this week. It just happened, is that nobody can turn in more than 4 ballots, and they have to be your immediate family members to do so in Georgia. So the Georgia is no longer in play. Georgia will squarely fall on Trump's side, regardless of what shenanigans they try to pull, right. Sort of thing. So now the goal of this organization is to take what they just accomplished in Georgia and make it happen in other states. So I don't know. I mean,
do they foresee any issues with like illegal IDs or anything like that, or people like like, I mean, a 15-year-old can get into a bar with an ID. It's not hard. Yeah. I mean, did they foresee any issues on that or no?
It's pretty easy.
At least it's better than nothing, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have a hard time verifying things like driver's licenses, other forms of ID. I don't know what other forms they'll accept.
Right.
But I think the driver's license way is easy to verify. So I don't foresee a problem there. I literally just got off a phone call with the top guy in this organization who's doing this stuff. And he was super excited at what they've accomplished in Georgia. And at the end of the day, his group is not politically affiliated with anybody. They're not affiliated with the Republicans, the Democrats, Trump, or anybody else, because their whole play is just encourage people to get out and vote. So I wasn't aware of this, but apparently people who are hunting enthusiasts, very few of them vote. And so if you can convince 1, 2, 3% more people in that bucket to get out and vote, it's kind of a foregone conclusion who they'll vote for. It'll be for the right guy.
Hunting enthusiasts are not voting?
Very, very low percentage.
Really?
Yep.
And what's the reasoning behind that? Just more.
I don't know what the reasoning is. I just know that it's been identified by this group who's working very hard behind the scenes to get out the vote without specifically saying, go vote for Donald Trump or go vote for this person. And so what they're doing is they're specifically targeting groups of individuals who traditionally do not vote in large percentages, and the groups that we know for the most part are going to slant towards traditional American values and beliefs, and therefore will vote for the right guy. So it actually is the most encouraging, exciting piece of news that I have got on this topic in a very, very long time, and really flattered that I got pulled into the conversation. I'll tell you the next step. And these guys have some big names pulling for them, by the way, like the Joe Rogans of the world. And so because they are not saying, go vote for this particular person, go vote for this particular party, they're not encumbered by the rules of PACs, right? All they're doing is saying, get out there and vote. So what they're doing is they're appealing to people. Hunters is a good example to say, hey, not only do you need to get out and vote, but take one person with you who didn't vote last time around. So they've got quite a grassroots movement going on, and they are specifically looking at groups like hunters who slant towards the conservative side and who don't vote typically in large numbers. So the head guy told me on this phone call, he said, if we get 1%, that's it, 1% will be such a volume that in conjunction with these other advances of requiring a photocopy of your ID with your mail-in ballot, that we should win quite handily. So
I'm stunned that hunters don't vote. I would have assumed the complete opposite. I mean, I grew up in hunting country my whole life, so and everyone, I've personally never met a liberal hunter, so I mean, I'm wondering if it's just kind of almost like they know the system is rigged and they don't do it anymore. They tend to be prepper mentality. They know that like this is shit show. I wonder if that's what it is. It's fascinating.
So I could speculate. I can't speak
Sure.
with 100% authority on the subject, but I think what it is that most people who fall into that bucket are the people who have adopted this attitude, much like myself. Just leave me alone. You know,
Mm-hmm.
do whatever the heck you want as long
Don't
as it
tread
doesn't
on
hurt
me
nobody else.
attitude.
But yeah, leave me alone.
Mm.
And so it's interesting. The leader of this group, who I just got off the phone with, said that those of us who have taken this position for years, just leave me alone, can no longer take that stance. You no longer can you say just leave me alone, because over and over again in history, any group who said I just want to be left alone but didn't stand up for themselves got steamrolled.
Right.
So we're kind of at that, watershed event where they're reaching out to these people and saying, you can't just say, please leave me alone anymore, because they're not going to leave you alone. And you've
Nope.
seen what's happened in the past few years. So you need to get out there and vote. And you need to take somebody else who didn't vote last time around without saying to them, go vote for this particular person. And because they're not saying vote for this particular person, again, they're not unencumbered by the rules that are come with political action committees. So the fact that they were able to get the mail-in voting stuff pretty much squared away, I would say squared away in Georgia, what a great blueprint that they can
Yeah.
now roll out in other states. So
Yeah.
some good news for a change.
No,
You
it's
know,
great news. It's
we
and
need more
I
good news.
that's I mean, but also on top of that, I mean, that's a great call to action for anybody out there who either is a hunter themselves that watches this stuff or watches Survival Dispatch or any other channel. You guys stumbled in here and you saw this, or anybody who's looking to do something or is around hunters. I mean, go tell them, hey, we need your help at this point. I mean, you know,
Well, the next thing that he said took me by surprise, and based on your reaction, it'll probably take you off, by surprise as well. If you take the overall percentage of Americans who vote and vote in federal elections specifically, there is a very large group of people out there who vote at a lower rate, a lower percentage. And guess who it is? It's the 2A community. So again, I'm speculating because I'm in the 2A community. I deal with lots of people in the 2A community. I really think it's a matter of just leave me alone. I don't want to participate in your, shitty election process. Just leave me alone. And so it's not as prevalent as it is in the hunting community, according to the person I just got off the phone with, but it's still an issue. So they're going after the 2A community as well and saying you have to get out and vote and take somebody else with you. And no 2A supporting American in their right mind would vote for this ridiculous administration that we currently have. So again, you're not encumbered by pack rules because, hey, we're not saying go out there and vote for Trump. We're saying just get out there and vote.
if we have an election, which I'm not convinced, but that's me. I think you're going to need more people showing up because I know a population of people who are done. They're tapped out.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like just we're not just like and this is my problem at this point is if you don't show me how 2020 was fixed, I have no like what's the desire like and I hear this from people like what's the desire to go and what are we doing at this point? And I would assume that's maybe even some hunters mindsets too is like what is happening? Like 2020 has not even been remotely, come close. That good thing. I'm glad George is doing some stuff like that. That's pretty good. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, the expectation is that they're going to push this in other states where, okay, you want to send in a mail-in ballot, put your driver's license in there, and we'll
Right.
scan and well a copy of your driver's license. But as far as us potentially not having an election, yeah, that's a valid point. And all you have to do is look at what's going on in Haiti again. And not the first time this has happened, right? So you have since Saturday.
I'm so glad I haven't looked at this much because I have a little bit of an idea what's going on, and I'm like, yep, it's coming out.
So it's exactly what you and I have discussed multiple times when the rule of law goes out the window and how that relates to basic stuff like food. Okay, so the prime minister of Haiti has fled the country.
He resigned. He's out.
Yep, the gangs now control the country, and one gang in particular, whose leader's nickname is Barbecue, and has been barbecue for a long time, which is really ironic considering the fact that there's no food, there's no gasoline, there's no police. So the gangs have burned down the police stations. They've emptied the prisons. So all their gang members and hardcore criminals have been let out. And it's at the point where I was up super early yesterday, like I normally am. And I caught the videos of the Haitians in the street barbecuing humans and eating them. And so X has taken all of those videos down. If you look hard enough, you can go find them. It's pretty disturbing, but it's exactly what you and I have discussed. We're never more than 3 missed meals away from anarchy. So the videos were taken on Sunday. They were broadcast Sunday night and yesterday morning. They've been pulled down by X. But if your society gets to the point where there's no rule of law, there's no law enforcement, there's no military, the leader is the head of a gang, a very notorious gang, and people don't have food, what will they do to get food? Well, they're literally going in the street, taking the bodies that have been shot by the gangs and the bad guys and cooking them and eating them on the spot. It's very disturbing.
It's not going to go well, by the way, because
it's very disturbing.
They're going to get very sick from doing that. There's a reason you don't eat another human. It's not because it's ethical and immoral problem, but it also is a very, very nasty physiological problem.
So here's the next part to this that's really relevant to your audience, our audience, Americans in general. Where's the mainstream media coverage of this?
Were you expecting some?
Well, so my point is
they control Haiti, Clinton Foundation.
So that's been brought up a lot in the past 72 hours, specifically in that all these billions of dollars that were given to the Clinton Foundation to help Haiti after the earthquake in 2010. I mean, we have no way to prove this.
I should go deeper. Let me not say Clinton Foundation. Let me say Epstein and Maxwell. Like this is
right.
This is Mossad MI6 to the max.
So again, I don't personally have any way to prove numbers, which is some numbers, which is why you'll hear me at times say I can't speak to the veracity of something. But there are multiple former officials in Haiti prior to this particular point in time who have said that they got less than 2% of the money that was given to the Clinton Foundation. And we know that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are as crooked as a dog's hind leg. So it's not surprising.
That's a nice way of saying it.
There's an interesting TED Talk out there. The guy's name is Dan Pallotta, and he was the head of a large nonprofit, and he got ousted, and it was really wrong. It's a really great video to go watch. It'll change your perception of charities. So the reason he was ousted is because he was using 40% of the money that this charity brought in to hire the best of the best for executives. Okay. So people were like, you should never, 5% for the administration. The rest has got to go to the charity. Very, very short-sighted. In his TED Talk, he was able to show how his method raised $500 million in the first year. Okay. And out of the $500 million in the first year, $300 million went to the cause. Okay. And $200 million was used for overhead. Well, if you take the year before he took over most. Yeah. Now, if you look at the year before Dan took over this charity, they gave 95% to the charity. They generated less. Yeah, but they generated less than $10 million in donations. Why? Because the private sector sucked up all the highest quality executives and marketing people. So do you want 60% of 500 million or 95% of 10 million? That, and
Oh yeah.
it, again, it will
It
change your
also
perspective
costs
on
it costs
charity.
money for marketing to actually bring in donations too.
Correct. But point being is that, okay, so we spent 40% on overhead, but we brought in $300 million versus the
Right.
traditional way of giving away 95% and not being able to hire the best people for the jobs because they're not going to work for peanuts when they can go work in private industry. They brought in 10 million. So they got 9.5 million to the cause versus 300 million to the cause.
Right.
It's completely
Yeah.
backwards thinking that you should limit charities. But my point is this, is that's not what the Clinton Foundation did. The Clinton Foundation put the money in their own pocket
Of course it did.
and gave a minuscule amount actually helping the people in Haiti. At the end of the day,
They also traffic
what's
kids, which is
happened?
provable.
Yeah. What's happening right now in Haiti for the umpteenth time is a wake-up call for the Western world and Americans in particular that if things get to the point where there's the supply chain is done, if you take down all the internet and cell phone networks, all of the ERP systems, enterprise resource planning systems that say, okay, stock level is dropped here for this food product, cut a PO, send a bill of lading for the logistics company. When all that ends and there's no more food because there's only 3 days worth of food at the best of times on the shelf at the grocery stores in America, this is a horribly great example of just how bad things can devolve and very, very quickly. You're talking in a matter of hours, like less than 24 hours of the whole thing being turned upside down in Haiti. The prime minister fleeing the country, the gangs taking over. There's no food on the shelves. It's already a poor country. Bam, you've got cannibalism. You've got gunfights breaking out everywhere. There's tons of footage on X, not the cannibalism because they took it down, but of all these gunfights and people being killed. I mean, I saw a video last night where they tied a guy up who was a government official and took turns running at him with a machete and stabbing him. And then they hand the knife to the next guy who would go ahead and do it. A complete and utter anarchy. So for people in America who think this can't happen here, what happens when there's no rule of law? Maximum 48 hours, the wheels are coming off.
It's true. No, we've seen it over and over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
SurvivalDispatch.com. Got good videos coming out this week as always, sir?
Yeah, so we're changing things up a little bit because the only thing that stays the same is that nothing stays the same.
Nothing stays the same.
So we're transitioning Survival Dispatch News on Mondays and Fridays to be a live broadcast so that we're not behind the news curve. And on Wednesdays, that will be our special edition, pre-recorded investigative report. So something that's not as time sensitive, but it's a big story. So this week, we're actually going live Wednesday, Friday. Next week, the new schedule takes effect. It's going to keep us ahead of the curve and keep our audience ahead of the curve. And I'll tell you why. Here's a great example. We did a recording on Haiti yesterday, and we'd already had the plans for next week. And we said, you know what? By Wednesday, what we're recording here on Monday, because Survival Dispatch airs Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's not going to be relevant anymore. Yeah. So, that change in itself is another step forward for us. That EMP shield video, by the way, that you just pulled up there, which is the only one out there. Nobody else has tested an EMP shield like we did. We actually started building a 1.2 million volt Marks generator this week. So we take a 20,000 volt transformer and we take capacitors that can hold 20,000 volts each. And when we flood them, they go off simultaneously in an electrostatic discharge, which is identical to how an EMP pulse or strike happens. And the reason we're doing that is because the first test that we did, we had a 400,000 volt Marks generator. Right there, you see 360,000 volts because worst case scenario, based on the air density and particulates in the air, that 400,000 is going to be a little bit reduced. It's probably 399,000, but worst case scenario would be 360,000 volts. The most powerful nukes in the world that any military is willing to admit to It's a 90,000 volt EMP, 90,000 volts per meter. Okay. But we know for a fact, because we have guys like Mike Sterling on our team, former military EOD specialist, that the real number is actually 200,000 volts. So we did 360,000 volts. So we can unequivocally say, look, if you have an EMP shield device on your home or your car and you're not at ground zero and you get hit with an EMP, everything plugged into your home or your car is going to survive. We can say that unequivocally now, not based on white papers, but based on actual evidence that we recorded. Okay. Here's the thing. If we have a Carrington level event, which was September 1st, 1859, which was a huge coronal mass ejection from the sun, also known as a CME, that would produce somewhere just under a 1,000,000 volt strike. Okay. So if we can get the EMP shield to survive 1.2 million volts, we can also say unequivocally that it'll protect you from, the largest CME that's ever hit the earth before. And there's already some evidence out there. There's a pump station that a city had where they put an EMP shield up, got hit by lightning. So you're looking at, it was probably millions of volts,
Right.
as well as thousands of amps. CMEs and EMPs are very low amperage, very high voltage. Lightning strikes are very high on both sides. Okay. But this next one that we do, not only are we going to have a bunch of devices attached to our test bed, we are going to stick a Faraday bag in the middle of all that mess that's not connected to anything and put a bunch of electronics in it when we do the test to see if unprotected devices inside a Faraday bag can stand a 1.2 million volt electrostatic discharge, which is a great simulation of an EMP or CME. So more coming on that. Stay tuned for that. That's super exciting stuff. Nobody's done this but Survival Dispatch.
I love it.
End
Chris
of
Heaven,
speech.
survivaldispatch.com. Go to YouTube, type in Survival Dispatch. You can see it on Rumble as well, and then go to survivaldispatch.com.
Cloud Hub. Go to cloudhub.com. That's where our
Cloudhub.com.
unredacted, uncensored videos go.
I love it. I love it.
All right.
Hang in there, brother. Be well.
Thanks, Doc.
Take care.
Be safe.
Chris Heaven, survivaldispatch.com, a great friend of the show. Go watch their stuff. Amazing information to keep you nice and safe out there. What is happening in Brave TV land? What is happening out there? There's more information that I have, but I can't go through it all right now. So we're going to do this over a period of time. If you haven't seen, well, first of all, let me do this. Hold on. Let me do this. I had a great conversation yesterday with Sarah Westall, who's been on the show. She's a friend. Okay. I'm not going to say I know this matter of fact. I'm just going to tell you what's actually occurring. So Sarah has been having some problems with some influencers out in influencer world. All right. And this yesterday was a shitstorm. Sarah Westall is just from what I can tell, just a very super nice, ethical, good individual who wants to help people. There's a lot of shit going on out there right now, even in quote unquote truther land. It's garbage. If you didn't know, I think it was end of last year. Maybe it was beginning of this year. I don't even know the dates. I told you, so I was having an issue on X with groups of people who they're basically trying to upend healthcare. They're going out there, they're sounding very, very holistic. They're sounding very, very trutherish. And they're putting out just stuff that sounds great, but it's not truthful. And so they started going down this road of germ theory versus terrain theory. Now, I can't get into this deep because it takes a long time to go through, but essentially The germ theory was created by Louis Pasteur, who, it's not that he was cabal, but he wasn't telling the truth. He didn't even get his, like, pasteurization of dairy is a horrible thing for food. Pasteurization of food in general is a horrible thing for food. He developed, I should say he stole, the idea of germs. And he created the germ theory, which is our current day healthcare medical paradigm. The current day healthcare medical paradigm is you get sick because of a virus, a bacteria, a fungus, mostly viruses, right? Viruses. That's their big thing. There's the terrain theory. And we say theory because ultimately a lot of stuff is a theory. Like, we kind of know how a muscle works, but we don't know how a muscle works. We kind of know a lot about the brain, but we don't know a lot about the brain. So if I talk about like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, right? I can't say it's a law because it's not confirmed enough to be law. We're working with a theory, but we know what's going on, right? So there's germ theory and terrain theory. Germ theory is you walk in a room, if people are sick, you get sick too. It's not real. It's not true. Terrain theory is it all begins internally, not just the gut, but all the microbiome of the body. I woke up one morning months ago, and Amazing Polly was going on this like viral tirade regarding, I think, Weinstein and the wellness group or the wellness doctors or the wellness, all this stuff, right? Now, I'm going to be careful what I say because I don't really feel like having legal issues on my hands. I've already pissed off enough people. I don't need to go after companies. It's not worth it. So Amazing Polly was starting to get a bunch of information regarding the terrain theory, which I subscribe to. The problem is, I think she likes the germ theory. I can't confirm this because she wouldn't talk to me. So she wrote a post some time ago saying basically, she's not going to discuss it. Anyone who says anything about it will be blocked. Well, I didn't really take her seriously because I'm like, why wouldn't you discuss it? So all I wrote was, I was very nice. I just said, hey, we should have a discussion on germ theory and terrain theory. It'd be fun to talk about. And she, within like 5 minutes, she blocked me. She blocked me for saying, let's have a discussion on it because I think it would be fun to talk about. Not a debate. Polly, I didn't want to debate you. I just wanted to discuss it with you. And I actually said it would be a good education for many people because a lot of people don't even know that there's a thing called the terrain theory. Here's the thing. Education actually helps people. Not always debating, but education. Debates are actually good for people too, but discussion. She blocked me in 5 minutes. I was like, what the fuck? So whatever. I don't like assholes. Like, seriously, don't be a dick. That's pretty much what it comes to. I can also be an asshole, but like when someone's trying to help. So anyway, I ignored it because whatever. I ignored it. However, Ms. Sarah Westall did some research. I don't know that I can say this yet now. I don't have her permission to say it, so I don't want to go crazy. This was the latest post from Sarah. I'll cover it, I don't care. This I can cover, it's public. So Sarah was also blocked by Amazing Polly. So AP, Amazing Polly, blocked me. She will not conduct interviews. She is private and will not answer questions if they get too close to something relevant or uncomfortable. I will do a video which will reach people. I have very limited reach on X, which she does. And what I learned on what I learned so far. This is a multi-level psyop or operation, and Amazing Polly is involved. Correct. Let me check her page. I don't know if she said anything since then. Okay, that's the last thing she said. They went back and forth. Polly blamed. So Okay, so I can say this because it's out there. This was a go back and forth between her, in I think, yeah, in AP. This is the doxing you did on me, posting private. So Amazing Polly posted. I can't access. If anyone out there wants to access Amazing Polly, I have no idea what she's posting. But apparently, she posted private direct messages with Sarah, which was unethical. She wrote a Substack about it and republished it, but still, you're not answering questions. I also have more questions. For example, why is Amazing Polly's husband's employment with a well-known Black Ops contractor who actively did COVID suppression not relevant? Yes. So she posted this. I can say this. Sarah Westall found out, she also told me this, that Amazing Polly's husband, now we don't know what his employment is, but it's a known Black Ops contractor who actively did COVID suppression. Why is that not relevant to the discussion? That's one of them. I don't know what the other post was. You posted our private direct message. This is the issue and is doxing from what I understand, but getting lawyers involved is not going to help anyone in the circumstances. It's not important. So she blocked all the stuff so she can't see. Let's see what I wonder if she did anything Substack. Let's see. Sarah Westall here. Sarah, I'm going through your stuff today. Don't worry. She's okay. She's okay with it. Sarah and I talked last night for like an hour. Because we're both on the same path of trying to find out what the hell is going on. Here's her Substack. I don't know if she put anything in here. This was March 7th, so that's 5 days ago. I don't know that she has a latest one. Oh yeah, so there's one. My phone's exploding. Yeah, so she stepped into a hornet's nest with Amazing Polly. Wellness companies involved. She was trying to help her. It didn't go well. Amazing Polly has now attacked Sarah. Now again, I've also been attacked by Amazing Polly. So, and the only one I talked to still is Sarah on this, and Sarah's awesome. God. What you should know about this is, if someone continues to block people, there might be a problem. So I've been blocked by Amazing Polly. I've been blocked by Mike Gill. I've been blocked by Dr. Peter McCullough and many others. And I've been blocked by just asking some questions. That simple. The more that comes out, I'll let you know. Because I don't fully know. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything negative yet. Because I don't know fully what's going on. And again, I don't need any legal issues in my world. That's not really good. Yeah. So I have blocked people, but I blocked bots. I blocked people who like when there's a bot that comes in on X and is like, oh, you're a chiropractor. What do you know about it? I block them because I know but they also don't have thousands upon thousands of viewers. So I only block bots or people just being idiots. But if someone's having a discussion with me, I don't block them. I mean, okay, it is what it is. Like, have a discussion. The heart disease thing is tomorrow. So, has everyone noticed that the airlines are having a bit of a problem. Has anyone noticed this? That it seems like it's a little messy out there. That's because it is messy. So you've probably seen some of these. Shit. Here's one. That's a plane on fire.
It's on fire. Oh my god. Sorry. Oh my god, it's on fire. Oh my god.
That was a Boeing on fire. Can't make this up. Here's another one.
One, this is not a 737 problem, it's a Boeing problem. When I first started working at Charleston, I was in charge with pushing back defects to our suppliers. I take a group of inspectors and actually go to the supplier and inspect their product before they send it in. Well, I'd taken a team of 4 inspectors to Spirit Aerosystems to inspect the 41 section before they sent it to Charleston. And we found 300 defects. Some of them were significant that needed engineering intervention. When I returned to Charleston, my senior manager told me we had found too many defects and he was going to take the next trip. So the next trip he went on, he took 2 of my inspectors. And when they got back, they were given accolades for only finding 50 defects. So I pulled that inspector aside and I said, did Spirit really clean up their act that quick? That don't sound right. And she was mad. She said, no. Said the 2 inspectors were given 2 hours to inspect the whole 41 section and they were kicked off the airplane.
So that was the whistleblower. That whistleblower was found dead with a gunshot wound to the head. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know what the hell's happening. I do know what's happening, actually. I do know. I thought I had another one, too. I thought I had the wheel falling off the plane. That's a fun one. X messes with my bookmarks. I'll have a bookmark, and then the bookmark will disappear, and the bookmark is gone forever, and I can't find it anymore, and that's very annoying to me. And because I usually go to get it for you, and it's not here anymore. So yes, they have destroyed my bookmark on the plane, on the wheel, falling off the plane in midair and landing in a parking lot of cars and destroying them. They deleted my bookmark of a plane backing up into another plane at a gate. So essentially, like, not even the tarmac. Like, they're backing up and they ran into another plane. Insane. What is my thoughts? I'm glad you asked. What are my thoughts on the planes? I'm going to give you a sneak peek today on what's happening with the planes. All right, here we go. You ready? I don't want you to overthink this, everybody. Let's go with faith. What's happening is a rise of consciousness. The world is not getting darker. Does anyone out there think that the world is actually getting darker? Here, I'll help you. The world is not getting darker. The veil is simply being lifted. You are, I should say, dismantling the old. President Trump, in his Agenda 47, talks about new transportation systems. Correct? Doesn't it seem weird now that we've talked about new transportation systems, 0-point energy? Let me name one of the things. Hold on, I gotta go find it. I don't know where it is at the moment. President Trump mentioned recently, and in 2023, he wants EVTOL, or electric cars, for his new freedom cities and will help roll them out. Let me show you this one. I don't want to go too deep into this because I don't have time. But I'll show you this because I think it's interesting. This is exactly what's happening. You're going to get yourself some flying cars, everybody. Trump mentioned recently, and in 2023, he wants eVTOL, whatever that is, over electric cars for his new freedom cities. Planes are failing, Boeing specifically, since 2018, 2019. Elon likes lithium design, electric VTOL. Here is eVTOL. Long-awaited new air taxi and celebrates maiden flight in the same swoop. Trump backs flying cars, calls for new cities in campaign video. Hold on, everybody. You have to understand where this is going. Don't be so quick to say what you don't want. Because ultimately, what's happening is we are building. Well, first, you must destroy. Then, you must build the new Atlantis. Israel is not the true Israel. It is not the Holy Land. Anybody who thinks the actual place of Israel is the Holy Land, it's not true. America is the Holy Land. So what's going to happen is we're going to implode Babylon, and we're going to be building the new Atlantis, which is in America. And you're going to have literal flying cars. You won't have airplanes anymore. They'll be totally different. And you're going to need a lot of workers. You got think above Pete Buttigieg. Just, like, go above that. Go above that. We got to think higher, not lower. I'm not worried who these people are in office right now anymore. Like, it's a joke. They are building, and I can tell you how I know some of this. There will be some destruction, and there will be a new future. The new Atlantis. Ancient flying saucers of Atlantis and Lemuria. While it is assumed that most flying saucers are of alien or perhaps governmental military origin, another possible origin of UFOs is Atlantis. What we know about ancient flying vehicles comes from ancient Indian sources. There is no doubt that most of these texts are authentic. Many are well-known ancient Indian epics themselves, and there are literally hundreds of them. Most of them have not been translated into English yet from the old Sanskrit. The Rama Empire of northern India and Pakistan developed at least 15,000 years ago on the Indian subcontinent. It was a nation of many large sophisticated cities, many of which still can be found in the deserts of Pakistan, northern and western India. Rama existed parallel to Atlantean civilization and was ruled by enlightened priest kings who governed the cities. This also aligns with the last president. Dark to light. I'm going to go over this more later. I'm not going to get into it now because I literally just printed this off this morning. But yes, they have all the technology ready for all of this. It is ready. Well, I shouldn't say all ready to go, but it's essentially ready to go. Who said not in our time? But yeah, I would say it is in our time. Jump on board, everybody. Who has questions? Who has questions today? If we're going to have flying cars, do you think we'll have to take pilot lessons in order to have it? No, it'll fly itself. It's going to be autopilot. You think this is not possible? You guys, we're stop thinking about the world we live in and think about the world we could live in. All this technology is already available. You're thinking old technology. It's not like getting an airplane. Oh, I see a lot of fear in the comments. I see a lot of fear. I see Jesus take the wheel, Matt. I see either way, locked into cities, no thank you. I see, oh, why are you panicking? Here's a question. Why? Who cares? It's the new Atlantis. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. Let's build something amazing. I think too many people. Now, here's the other thing. People are going to call this the Antichrist. They're going to be, oh my God, it's the Antichrist. You're telling me that innovating with new technology and building a better world is the Antichrist? Come on. I mean, like, really. I think many Christians are going to be deceived. That's what I think. I know that pisses some people off. You'll be controlled if you want to be controlled. You'll be free if you want to be free. There's always going to be evil. Like, when we say evil, what do you mean by evil? What do you mean by evil? When someone says that's evil, there is no absolutes in this world. So what do you mean by evil? You can think of, I bet you if you think of something evil, I could think of something more evil. And then you could think of something more evil. There is no absolute evil. So when someone's like, oh, it's all evil, that bullshit. You have no idea what you're talking about. It's of the devil. Oh my God. Like, really? Yes, we're going to build, you're going to build the new Atlantis. Right? Going to build the new Atlantis. Last couple minutes. Any questions? Kind of like the idea of the microwave in the 50s. That would be crazy talk. Yeah, that would be crazy talk. Also, I think we're going to start uploading videos also on Bastion, Bastion. I'll give you more information later, but it seems to be a very friendly blockchain platform that other people are on as well, and they're not restricting anything, and you can grow a decent audience there. So keep that in mind too. I'll give you more information as we go forward. Let's see. The same people that say evil all the time are the same people that watch porn because they can't stand to look at their wife. Right? Yeah, exactly. 100%. We are going in to the golden age and the age of knowledge. I'll go into this more maybe on After Dark as well, and we'll talk about some of that stuff as well. Rumble probably is starting a cloud. Everything's gonna be cloud based. There's no way. There's no getting away from cloud, guys. Are puffy bags under the eyes more than just a lack of quality of sleep? It can be kidney and it can be liver. Kidneys and liver will also be affected by that as well, or will also affect bagginess under the eyes. Anybody who has a lot of bagginess under the eyes, their kidneys and liver are backed up. Liver cleanse, KL support, kidney and liver support. We will get into the giveaway winners. We'll get those out there. I don't have a timetable on when you'll get it. We'll get those taken care of as soon as we can. Hang in there. We have a customer service website, bravetv.com/help. Yes, everyone has liver backup right now. A lot of people are dealing with that. You're waking up between 2 and 4 a.m., liver problem. Absolutely. 100%. Tomorrow we're going to have a rock star show. We're going to go over a study that's going to blow your mind. We're going to go deeper into that, and then we're going to do a ton of health question and answer. Tomorrow's Medical Myths Wednesday, a ton of health-related information tomorrow. We might have some new stuff for you as well as we work that out. So hang in there. And who wants some healthcare help? Anybody? Who wants some healthcare help? Smash that button. Absolutely. Everybody, we are working to reverse not only metabolic enslavement, but neurobioweapon enslavement. Literally to save and rebuild a civilization. Love, serve, and help. I am Dr. Jason Dean. This is Brave TV. Everybody have a rock star, fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.